and we will weave those comments and those questions into our conversation. So thanks in advance for your questions here.
Herkese selam, ben Banu. Salam to all, this is Banu. Now we're going to go to the webinar just to have a look what's going on, and then we'll come back, inshallah.
I have some assets which I'd encourage you to take a look at and download during the course of the webinar. The first one is a very interesting deck on conversational banking 2023 and how to achieve a significant increase in your ROI through the use of conversational AI. We have our Finextra TV channel, and there is a video there which is about unlocking the value of generative AI and large language models. And finally, if you wish to contact Boost and take advantage of a free trial of generative AI functionality, you have the opportunity to do that as well. So the format for this session is some opening remarks from each of the speakers. Then after that, we're going to the deeper dive around the issues, of which there's many. There's no question that we're seeing a real surge in artificial intelligence and increasingly in generative AI. There's a greater investment that's being put into companies, and I don't just mean it's monetary. It's with skills, it's with organizational change, and it's with a desire to use generative AI in the modernization of the payments world. And that inevitably means that you've got to look hard and long at various use cases. And hopefully we'll be sharing some of those today with you. And of course, those use cases and the points I've made before also prompt to a need to look at different models. What's the most optimum way in which you can start to use generative AI? And of course, we have to recognize that there are some concerns, some sensitivities around the use of AI and the need for assurance that the quality of the data you're capturing is reliable, usable, auditable, explainable, and much more besides. So how can companies leverage the best use of AI in today's world? And how can these different models come forward and make sure that the banks are comfortable with their use when they're looking at generative AI? And what can we really expect to see as a result of the wider use of the data in a more informed fashion if we look ahead? So they're just some of the points we're going to cover off today. And allow me to thank and to welcome each of our speakers. We've got Greta Overbo, who's the Head of Financial Services of Boost AI. Thank you for joining us. Intendra Rajput, who is the Senior Vice President AI Garage at MasterCard. And we've got Yannick Lalmo, who is the Chief AI Officer of Scotiabank. And between us, I think we can ensure that we can cover a range of the issues around the whole topic of managing unreliability in financial services around the use of generative AI. So I said up front, I'd ask each of the speakers to put into context some few thoughts and views that we're going to cover off.
Bu arada sormak istediğiniz herhangi bir şey olursa canlı sohbete yazabilirsiniz. Herkese cevap vermeye çalışıyorum. By the way, you can ask any question on the live chat. I'll be happy to answer.
GPT was launched, and it's definitely making a big impact in our industry. And with these new technologies, there is an important discussion to be had on how to leverage their capabilities, but also doing that with the level of control that we believe enterprises need to have. There's been a lot of discussions lately on data privacy, data security.
Şu anda ChatGPT duymuşsunuzdur. Onun insanların zamanları nasıl geçtiği, nasıl etkileri olduğu konusunda birazcık bilgi veriyor hanımefendi.
Anytime soon. So what I think is going to be important is for us as a vendor, but also for everyone else using the technology to do so in a responsible way. I think we've all seen examples of the mistakes that can be made, but equally so, been really impressed by these really human-like long conversations that it's able to have. And that's definitely changing the industry for conversational AI.
Yapay zeka açısından ChatGPT'nin bir insana çok yakın bir etkileşimi olduğunu ve bunun endüstriye ne kadar büyük bir yansıması olduğundan bahsediyor açıkçası. Bu tarz webinarlarda ağırlıklı olarak İngilizce konuşuluyor. Elimden geldiğince hani özet biraz paylaşmak istiyorum ve tabii ki telif dolayısıyla çok fazla yayınlayamıyorum. I'm trying to just brief, especially in Turkish since this webinar is in English, and trying to just summarize in regards to the copyright because I cannot just share all of it. So just tune in.
Thank you for that opening remark there. So let's move on to Nintendo. Let's hear from you. Your thoughts, please.
Thank you, Gary, and thanks, Greta, for actually introducing the topic here. The way I see it is, it's like generative AI is perhaps the second wave of AI. The first wave was perhaps when everyone realized that if you have data, you can build AI algorithms, and then they can be used for n number of things. So we squeezed out everything out of the data. But then over a period of time, it seems we realize that, I don't have all the data. There is some data that is missing and so on. It's like, now we can think of generative AI as, let's visualize a person walking in the sand. And when they walk in the sand, they make a footprint on the sand. So just by looking at the size of that footprint, I can actually identify whether it's a child or whether it's a grown-up person.
Şu anda da bir nevi evet, yapay zeka ile tanıştık, onu kullandık ve şimdi generative AI denen yani yaratıcı ki ben bu kelimeyi kullanmayı çok sevmiyorum. Yapay zekanın nasıl bir farkı olduğunu ve beyefendi şöyle bir örnek vereyim. Evet, yapay zeka ile datalar, veriler topladık ama sonra hani çok etkin ya da çok faydalı bir şekilde olmadığını bu yeni teknolojiyle mesela bir insanın kumda yürüdüğü zaman bıraktığı izle işte ağırlığı, büyüklüğü vesaire daha anlamlı veriler olabileceğini belirtiyor.
The way we could visualize who is the person walking, similarly we can visualize who is this customer. We can understand that customer better because now we have all these tools which were our eyes earlier to measure the footprint and all that, but now with these digital footprints we can actually identify how the customer is moving in their journey with respect to the financial.
Bu bir anlamda hani kumda yürüme örneği, bir anlamda alınan da verilerin müşteriyi daha iyi tanıma, nasıl bir yapısı olduğunu ve potansiyel müşteri olmadığı, ne gibi ürünler satılıp satılmadığı, çapraz satış yapıp yapılamadığı gibi yöntemlerce bir araç olarak kullanılabileceği belirtiliyor.
Reference to the fact that it is a second wave now, because it certainly feels it's moved on from the original views of machine learning, managing large amounts of data just more effectively. And I do like that sort of forensic style analysis of the footprint, because actually that's what we're really trying to get into, which of course also raises some concerns, so we'll touch on those, but the benefits of having that greater profile.
Evet, belirttiğim gibi telif sebebiyle hepsini yayınlayamıyorum. Daha uzun yayınlayamıyorum. Ve sizinle başka canlı yayınlarda görüşmeyi diliyorum. Özellikle pazar akşamları Türkiye saatiyle ilk gösterimlerde teknik analizler için kaçırmamanızı, kanalıma üye olmanızı, bu şekilde bana destek olmanızı ve bildirimleri açmanızı rica ederim. Görüşmek üzere, hoşçakalın. Well, as for the copyrights, I cannot just share more of it, and I'm gonna try to catch up with you guys more on the live. And don't forget, there is the premiere every Sunday at midnight GMT 4+4. So you can support me by subscribing and set the reminder for the upcoming. Thanks. Bye.